What is an exhausting personality trait in someone? Someone that plays devil's advocate in every conversation to be controversial or turn it into a debate. Someone who always has to be right face with rolling eyes. Someone who refuses to take any accountability for their own actions. In their mind, they are always right, but when they are caught being in the wrong, they claim someone else is also partly to blame because they need to protect their ego. Trauma dumping. Especially coming from people you work with, like can you not? Someone with a super negative outlook on life that needs you personally to fluff them back up. Everything that happens to them is horrible, so they need constant reassurance that it's going to be okay. Anything that they do is terrible, so tell them why they're doing great and what they're doing is actually pretty good. It's exhausting to have to spend a lot of emotional currency to try and prop them up. At some point it's like whenever they go on a woe is me rant for the 8th time that week. People who blame the world for their problems and think they are entitled to whatever they want. People who never validate your experience. Things never just suck. You're always too sensitive or not built for the conflict you're experiencing. People who think intent matters more than impact. Like, yes, I know your anger had nothing to do with me and you couldn't control yourself, but the impact matters. I won't forgive you just because you didn't mean to hurt me. What matters is that you did. People who monologue. Relationships and conversations should be like a tennis game, with the ball going back and forth. Some people treat them like an interpretive dance performance, just up there on stage doing their thing, unable to see the audience. If you aren't taking cues from the people on the other end of the relationship or conversation and changing course depending on what they say, it's exhausting. Learned helplessness. The inability to self-reflect. Someone who's not listening to what other people have to say in a conversation, only waiting for their turn to speak. Toxic positivity. Somebody who is chronically late. I've had friends who are never on time to any plans no matter how important. We are talking 2 to 3 hours late. When you're waiting on a person for dinner or just to hang out, it drains you so much. I can understand a few times, but if it's every event? You're exhausting to be around. Constant need for attention. Constant negativity. I mean, I don't condone repressing negative emotions, but being around someone whose only conversational topics are complaints, cruel gossip, shit-talking, and the like, thank you, no. I can't take that in large doses. Especially in coworkers. Jobs are stressful enough as it is. I shouldn't have to be someone's free trauma counselor as well. I'm not being paid enough to put up with that 40 hours a week. Gossiping. The person I think of always have bad things to say about everyone around her. She is funny and can be kind, but geez man, focus on your own life. Victim mentality. Self-diagnosed autism or self-diagnosed mental illness. Lol, I'm so OCD. No, you're just an attention seeker. Buzz off. Insecure people who need constant reassurance. Interrupting. Why are you hanging out with me if you aren't interested in letting me finish a thought? Negativity. Refusal to admit wrongdoing. One-up-manship. Crab in bucket. Fragile masculinity. It refers to how a bunch of crabs will hold each other down in a bucket. If they didn't latch onto each other with their claws, a few or all of them could climb out and escape the bucket. It's an easy euphemism for people in a bad position keeping each other down. Someone who always turns the conversation back to them when you're sharing something about yourself. Unpopular opinion. People who spew toxic positivity, and if you're not anything other than happy all the time, they instantly equate it to you being ungrateful, too angry, too negative. It's exhausting to be around people who you can only be happy around and only accept that version of you. I don't want to have to perform or fake being pleasant for your comfort. It's honestly not realistic. Volatility. Never knowing which mood they'll be in or how they'll react to anything. It's exhausting. A victim complex, not wanting to help themselves but constantly moan. Some circumstances I get it, but it's draining.